One of these two serves is illegal. Do you know which one? This serve is one of the most important shots in Padel. Actually, it is the first shot that we should know how to do correctly, but there are many people who cheat. Do you want to learn the main rules and prevent your opponents from cheating? Hello all players, I'm Pablo and I welcome you to a new 4Set. So let's start with the basics, that is, where do I have to serve from? Well, it's called the serving zone and it is delimited by the service line and the mid-court line. And from there we will have to serve diagonally. In other words, if we are serving from the right half of our court, we should direct our serve to the right half of our opponent's court. However, we serve from behind the white line, so our serve should bounce before the opponent's service zone, what we call the return zone. Remember that as in tennis, if the ball bounces on the opponent's line even 1 millimeter, it is good. Here, different situations can happen that we must understand well. For example, if our serve is long, that it bounces after the white line, it will be out. If our serve bounces in the return zone and rebounds on the glass, both lateral and back, it's good. But if our service bounces in the return zone and rebounds on the fence, it's out. If our serve bounces twice in the opponent's return zone, it is good and it's point for us. Well, there are many similarities between the Padel Serve and the tennis serve, but there is a very important difference: the height. In tennis, you can hit the ball as high as you want and practically all players try to hit as high as possible. But in Padel, we have a very clear rule: we cannot hit above the height of our waist. And this is very important and causes a lot of mistakes. The waist is not the same as the hip. The waist is higher than the hip, so you should always take advantage of those extra centimeters. But be careful with the height of the serve, because it is the main aspect where people cheat. Serving higher than waist height gives an illegal extra advantage to the player who serves. So if you detect that your friend is serving high, tell him to please serve below the waist. And also tell him to subscribe to this channel to learn more about Padel. If we have already seen the position and height of the serve, what about the bounce of the ball? Well, this is very simple. We can bounce the ball wherever we want until the last bounce before the serve. That last bounce before the hit should be behind the serving line. So therefore, the previous bounces that are usually used to concentrate can be on the line or in front of it. It doesn't matter. We haven't yet discussed what is allowed and what is not allowed with our feet. And here there are two clear rules. The first one says that we are not allowed to touch with our feet the serving line nor the imaginary line that follows the center line. The second one rule tells us that we must have at least one foot in contact with the ground. This will allow us in a legal way to make small movements with our feet that don't affect our initial position. Because when we serve in Padel, we have two main goals: to get the serve in and to reach the net as soon as possible. That is why we can start our run to the net if we follow this goal and the rule I mentioned before. But we must be careful to hit the ball before our foot touches inside the return area. Another point of conflict has to do with the net. As in tennis, in Padel we have two opportunities to make our serve. So if we miss both opportunities, we will lose that point. But what happens if we hit the net on our first serve? If the ball hits the net and doesn't pass to the opponent's return zone, we will have to make a second serve. If the ball hits the net and goes to the opponent's return zone, we will have to serve first serve again, as long as it doesn't bounce once and hits the fence. If the ball bounces twice on the ground, if it bounces once and then on the glass, in those cases we will always have a first serve again. These are the most important rules in this serve, but do you want to learn the best tricks from professional players? Like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and I will do the part 2.